So last time we talked about a fall cleanup and we looked at managing and organizing our Google Drive last time. Today we're going to do the same kind of stuff with our Gmail. So just like in Google Drive, I've got 5 tips for managing our Gmail. And the first thing we're going to start with is the search bar. Again, because these products are both Google products and they're similar in many ways, you're going to see some of the same tips that I gave you last time. So the first thing is using your search bar. And there's different ways we can search, just like with Google Drive. We can do our keyword that looks for in our subject, which is like the title of our email or the body of the email itself. So just like we did in Google Drive, we can look for it in a file name, or we can look in the actual file for it. We can do that for keyword. We have folders, they call them labels. And we can look at our inbox, our sent, trash, different labels that we create, or all mail. We'll talk about that in a second. I can look at it by who sent it to me or who I sent it to. So the email sender, that's the person sending to me, or the recipient, meaning the person I sent it back to, also has an attachment and date to narrow search. So these are all different search ways, things we can search for. So let's go to my Gmail. My Gmail has 4,907 emails in my inbox. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. I need to do something about that clearly. So if I were to try to find something, the first thing I might do is search up here and put in a key term. So let's say I'm just searching for Miss Nottingham sends out these Nottingham notes, okay, every week. So I could click on put in the word notes and say, oh, there's Nottingham notes, and this brings up some of the past Nottingham notes, okay? So I can search both the subject of the email or in the body of it, looking for a keyword, okay? I could also, over on the side here, I've got these different boxes I could just simply search. Now, my inbox has 4,908, so that's not a really good way to search, but maybe it's something that I sent recently to somebody. It's like, okay, well, I sent an email back to somebody. I can go and search for it in there. I could look for my trash if I accidentally just trash it. Oh, wait, you don't want to do that. Here's the way that we're going to talk about also. I've created a bunch of labels. I'm going to get into how we did that in a little bit, but I can search for different things. So if it was something related to sports, for instance, I might click on the sports thing and say, yeah, that last meeting, where's that email that we had at the last meeting, okay? So those are all things that I can do to search over here on the side in my labels. I can also search up in here by who sent it to me. So if I wanted something else, see, I just got something from Julian Arietta this morning, so I can click in there and say, well, what has Julian sent me? I forgot, okay? So there's all the emails that Julian has sent me, an easy way to look for stuff. Also, if it has an attachment, let's say that I'm looking for something, let's again say for Mrs. Nottingham, she sends us lots of stuff, and I needed something she sent me that has an attachment with it. So I'm going to click down there and click in a search. And now you see all of these have these paperclip or sometimes a calendar thing on them that says there's some kind of attachment. So somewhere in here, hopefully, is that email I'm looking for with an attachment on it, okay? And then last but not least, we can also search within a date range. So I'm saying, gosh, somebody sent me something back in, way back in June. Somewhere around the middle of June, somebody sent me an email, and I need to find that. So I could say, sometime during this week in June, sent me an email that I'm looking for. I can click search, and it goes back, and now you can see that it's got this stuff just in June and July right back in there. Okay, so all of those are ways that I can kind of narrow my search when I have a lot of emails that I'm poking through. So that's ways to search, okay? Next thing is, once we've searched for things, we got to clean this up. So clearly I have almost 5,000 emails. I am a hoarder. I need to stop it. So I need to do the search and destroy. Now, destroy might mean one of two things. I can either do just trash it like we're used to doing, or I can do what's archiving. Archiving puts it in a folder so it's not sitting there all the time. It's still accessible. If it's an email that I think that maybe someday I might want, versus trash. Trash holds the email for me, but only now holds it for 30 days. After 30 days, that email is going to go away. most of the time, trashing is a good idea because frankly, if you don't need it in the next 30 days, you don't probably need it ever, okay? So we're gonna need to delete some of those old emails and repetitive emails. So let's start back up in here in my inbox, okay? And so I have an email. Oh, let's pick on this one. Yep, we talked about Julian. So he sent me an email. I answered it. It's all good. When I hover over it, I have two different options, or several options, but two major ones. I can either archive it, meaning I'm going to save it for some future day that I might actually need it. But the truth is, I don't really ever need this one again. So I'm going to click delete. Okay. When I click delete, it's going to end up in my trash. I have 30 days to change my mind about that, okay? But, you know, likely I'm not going to. If I archived it, I've come down here and I've got these archives where I've saved email. I'm like, you know, someday I might need that email. I'll throw it into my archives. For the most part, I want to throw these things in the trash, okay? So let's talk about ways to get rid of some of those old emails. One of the things that I get a lot of are emails from different websites and things that I kind of subscribe to. So one of them is this Instructables website, and it has all kinds of cool stuff in there. Today I got a thing on how to make a headless robot paper craft and how to make pumpkin ice cream. Sounds awesome, okay? I love taking a look at this stuff. Grappling hooks, who doesn't need a grappling hook, right? Okay, but I get these every single day and they start to add up after a while. So if I look in my email for everything Instructables, I just type in the term Instructables and hit enter. It's going to find all these things that are Instructables, okay? And there's tons and tons and tons and tons. And that's part of the reason why I have, you know, 5,000 old emails I don't need is because I kept all of these and I didn't need to. So let's get rid of them, right? If I click up here, select, it's selected. I've got 100 of these old emails that I'm going to get rid of, and I can quickly scroll down through, and yep, they're all Instructable stuff. It's all things I don't need. I don't need to archive them. I'm going to just hit delete, and magically, those are all going to go away for me. And now I'm down to only 78 more of them that are getting Instructable, so I can, again, do the same thing, click select, and delete all of those. And now I've gotten anything that I had from Instructables is gone. So that's a quick way to clean up your email, especially if you get like regular emails from some website. So Pinterest is another one. So I get a ton of stuff from Pinterest, okay? And I can click here. Now, some of it maybe is not stuff that I need it's not actually from Pinterest, so I might want to take a look through and just double check that there's nothing in there. But let's face it, most all of that is probably junk that I'm going to get rid of. So again, I'm going to delete anything from Pinterest here, and it's going to get rid of it. So that's a quick way to begin to delete some of the stuff that I don't need in my email. Again, all these things from Pinterest that just really don't have much meaning after I've read them initially, and I should have trashed them right away. Okay? What happens though if I don't want to trash it and I need it, but I don't want it to like jam up my inbox, or I need to be able to find it easier rather than, again, so even though I have already gotten rid of about 300 emails, that just means I got 4,700 more, right? Again, a ridiculous amount of emails in there, okay? So how do I manage emails that I might actually need, but I don't want to like just leave them all jammed up in my inbox? Well, that's where we're going to create labels, okay? So labels, which are like folders, it's just really another name for folders. They allow us to group information to make it easy to find. Once I have finished that project, so a lot of times I'll do things with projects, I'm going to share that in a second, it makes it easy to delete them. Just get rid of all those emails from all that same project all at one time on it. So let's go through and I'll take a look and show you what I've done with labels. So over here, I've got a label called classes, and then you can see that's got this little triangle next to it, which means there's something in there. It's another folder within those folders. So if I click on that, you'll see that I have a folder for each and every one of my classes. So you guys have been emailing me a ton of stuff. I have literally probably gotten about 3,000 emails in the last month alone related to classes. Impossible to keep sorting through 3,000 emails. So whenever I get them, I throw them into whatever class that is, okay? So somewhere up in here, Miguel sent me an email, and I happen to know that he is a sixth grader, so I'm going to grab it and throw it into that label that I have over here, and that's another way to kind of sort these things out. So how did I create these? Okay, I go down here to More and scroll all the way down to the bottom. I can create a new label. Labeling them, obviously I want to have something that makes sense to me. I also tend to put mine with a number in front of them. So cancel this for a second. So you can see that my labels over here, they go in alphabetical order, which is a little bit of a problem. I wish I could put them in a specific order. So the way that I do that is I kind of cheat and I put a number in front of them. So my first label, number 1, is about classes. Number 2, sports. 3 is special ed emails. I don't have a 4. I got a 5. I got a 9. So I am going to create a new label, and I'm going to call it 4, and then I'm going to give it whatever thing it's about. Maybe I'm planning to go on vacation, okay? So I'm going to create a label called 4 and vacation, and I'm going to create that, okay? And now you can see that I've added that label right in here, okay? So let's say that next summer I'm finally planning on vacation, right? We're going to get released from quarantine. Please let that happen, and we want to go on vacation somewhere. So now maybe I'm deciding different areas I want to go on vacation, okay? So a couple of things I can do is I can click over here and I can do what's called add a sublabel, okay? So I could say one of the places I'm thinking about going is I'm maybe going to go to Texas and visit my grandkids, okay? So I could create that, and now you can see under vacation I have a label called Texas. Another thing I could do is to go back to bottom, create a new label, and maybe someplace else I'm thinking about going is to Mexico. So I've got some friends in there. And again, I can put that under, I click nest label under vacation, okay? And when I hit create, now I go back to my vacation folder or label, and you can see I've got one for Mexico and Texas. So now anytime I got an email that had to do with vacationing in Mexico or Texas, I can just slide it in there. Let's say ultimately I said, you know what, decided that I'm not really going to go to Mexico. We're just going to go to Texas. So all of those emails that I got about Mexico, I've changed my mind, I'm not going there. I can just get rid of all of those all at one time by clicking my 3 dots and just say remove that label, and says, you want me to leave it? Yep. And it would, if I were emails in there, it said there's emails in there. Are you sure? I'm going to say sure. I'll delete it. It goes into my trash, so I still have 30 days to think about whether or not I wanted to deal with those emails. But it's an easy way to organize lots and lots of information, okay? And then again, get rid of it. It's like, you know what? Turns out, unfortunately, I'm not going anywhere on vacation, so I'm just going to get rid of, sadly, all of my vacation emails and delete those, which I had to do this past summer. I had vacation plans with my daughter, and I had to just delete them all. It made me so sad, okay? So pro tip on that, again, keep those labels really short. And I like to, again, start them with a number so that it's easy to kind of put them in the order that I want, and I can always change that number on them. As you're getting emails, we don't want to make the problem worse. And one of the ways that we make it worse is that we reply all. So sometimes there's emails that go out to groups of people, okay? And there's no reason for me to reply to everybody if it's only one person that I need. Say Mrs. Smith sent out an email saying that Arietta's they're having a little problem with their email this morning. Now, I don't need to reply all to everybody. I can just reply to only Mrs. Smith and say, hey, thanks for telling me that. If I replied all to every single person and said, thanks for telling me, that means everybody gets an email that says, thanks for telling me, and they don't need to know that. It just means more email for them, okay? So don't hit reply all, just hit reply only to that one person when you get this, unless you really need everybody to reply all. So important tip is don't reply all to everybody, just those that need to know. And then also don't reply all over and over and over and just keep replying. I suggest if you've got more than 2 or 3 replies on an email, you should start a new one. It's so hard to read when they're really long, okay? Last thing we need to do then is to, my last tip is adding a signature line, which again makes it easy. When you get some of those replies, reply alls, you get lost on who is talking, okay? So we're gonna add a signature line that is going to help tell people who exactly it comes from without you having to type in every single time your name at the bottom of it, okay? So our homework assignment today is we're going to add a signature line to our emails. We're gonna put in our section and name in the subject box, which helps me out. That's how, by the way, when I get that, and let's see if I've got one from somebody who did it correctly. If I look at my classes, you can see that in, let's just pick this class here, that down here, people were addressing it properly. Yeah, I guess I've gotten rid of all of them. But when people tell me, you know, I'm in 6AB and this is my name, this is how I can sort things super fast. This is why I ask you to do that. Please put in on this, again, this email and pretty much everything that we do, I'm asking you to start off in the subject line with your section and your name in that subject. Now, lots of you forget, okay? So that's why we're gonna add a signature line that actually has your name and your section in it. Then we're gonna check this out in the body of it, and you're gonna put a hyperlink to something that you think is funny, okay? So give me a laugh today, all right? So let's go back and do this, okay? So I'm gonna click compose, and in compose, if I go down here to my 3 dots, you can see that I have an insert signature, okay? Now you guys haven't created a signature yet, so let's go and you're going to manage your signatures, okay? And you're going to create a signature. You're going to create a new signature for you. And your signature name is going to have your first and last name. So if you were John Smith, you would have it in there. And then also, I want to put in, get rid of this. Correct. All right, so to create a signature, to do our homework, here's what I want. So for today's homework, here's what I want you to do is we're going to click on compose. And before we start this email, we're gonna go down here to the 3 dots. Now yours doesn't have your name and stuff that we want in here automatically, right? So we're gonna create a signature line so it does that. So you don't have to type it out every time, and so you don't forget, and so I know what section you're in. So we're gonna click down here, your 3 dots. Then you're going to go to insert signature, and we're gonna manage our signatures, okay? So when you get this box up, and let's just get rid of that message for right now, your box is empty, okay? You don't have this information in there, and that's what I want you to put in, is I want you to put in your first and last name, and then your section in here, okay? So if I were you, I might put in John Smith, and then section 5C or 6D or 9F or whatever your section is, okay? So, but again, this is your name, please, not John Smith, and your section, whatever that is. Now, if you want to add more information, you know, maybe something fun underneath that, perhaps that you're a Star Wars fan, okay? You could put that in, something like that. Okay, but the main thing is put in your first and last name and your section in here, and if you want to add more, that's fine, okay? So we've got that listed in here, okay? So we're gonna go down to the bottom now and save changes. Now there's lots of stuff to mess around in here. I encourage you not to play around with this area. That's why I didn't go through this whole thing here. Just go down, click Save Changes for right now, okay? So now if I go to compose an email, you'll see that it has changed over, and now it says it's John Smith, section 9F, and Star Wars fan. So yours should have on the bottom your new signature line, okay? And if you don't like something about it, again, go back here. I can go to my insert signature, manage my signatures, click on it, and change it to something different, okay? So I'm actually gonna change mine back to what it should be. Okay, and spell literacy right. Okay, so literacy. Come on, Mr. Brooks. Okay, so 5A computer literacy teacher, save my changes. Okay, There we go. So I'm going back, I'm composing. That's me, okay? So I'm gonna send this to me. I want you to send an email to me, okay? And in here, I do want you again to put your section, okay? So I'm gonna be 6B, and my section, and then put my first and last name. Again, I'm gonna pretend to be John Smith. So I want you guys to put in your name, your section, your name in here. And then in this email, I want you to just type in, what did I say to put in? Check this out, okay? So we're gonna say, check this out. Okay, so I've got a friend and I want them to look at something. In this case, I found a funny joke or something that I liked. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna say, funny cat video, whatever you wanna share with me today. There's this funny cat video. I'm gonna click on it. All right, there it is. I'm gonna grab the address and copy that. Okay, and now I want to insert this, but I want you to do this as a hyperlink, okay? So highlight the word, check this out. Click insert link, and then put in that web address. Again, I don't care if it is a website you think is fun, it's a YouTube video, it's a joke, whatever it is, just give me something that is a hyperlink to it, because I want to make sure you can do that. I click OK, and so now if I receive this email, I would click on it and say, oh, let's check out this funny video that they've got, and here it is, this crazy cat and dog video that I will enjoy. All right, that looks like fun. Okay, so that's the homework assignment, is to send me an email with your section and first and last name, the words check it out, that is a hyperlink to something that's funny, and underneath that again is your first and last name, and your section number should be underneath here, and then go ahead and send that to me, and that's homework. All right, that's it. Sorry this was a long video again, but hopefully very helpful for you as you try and manage and clean out your Gmail account.